I'm Victoria Jane, and this is From the Studio, and I'm currently sat with the wonderful Kemani Anderson. How are you?
Hey, I can't lie, I'm pretty good.
Chilling?
Thanks for having me. I'm chilling. Can't complain.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here, and we're just so excited to hear your session from the studio. I have to say, though, congrats on everything with Secret Night Gang, because you guys are really one of a kind. I think you've started something so special, and you've started making music that really a lot of people just resonate with so easily as well, and effortless. It sounds effortless, the music, I think.
I won't say effortless, but like the way we like do the writing process, it's all kind of limitless. We don't go into the studio to then like try and write a soul tune or a hip hop tune, whatever comes out like in our fields, it comes out that way. So I'm glad it's kind of resonating with a lot of people in that way, So
Yeah, but for the people, tell us, how did Secret Night Gang first form and come together? Yeah.
So it was a dark, misty night. I'm sitting down joking. So about 5.5 years ago, it even stems back to a fact of like me and the sax player in the band, Callum.
Yeah.
We were like childhood friends. We've been friends for years, and we went to the same high school. Didn't go to the same college, went to the same uni. But then it wasn't until 2018 where we actually wanted to take it seriously, but more on my part, I wanted to he was always like, come on bro, we really want to like write some music with you. And I was like really reluctant to, very apprehensive for whatever reason. And I don't know, well, I do know, going to like Love Supreme Festival, seeing like Earth, Wind and Fire, George Clinton and the Funkadelics, Layla Hathaway, like splitting a voice in two, which is like just such a madness to see.
Crazy.
Like seeing all of that kind of inspired me, like made me have like a fire in my belly to want to like write music. And so in like July 2018, we then started writing with the then bassist at the time, Stuart Whitehead. The name came around because like at night we would then like be create but very secretively. But no one would know that we were doing it at the time. And one day like the bassist's son was like, "Oh Dad, I've joined a gang at school," and he's like petrified, being like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on here?" He was like only like 4 or 5 years old kind of thing. And he's like, "Oh, so we like literally playing hide and seek, Tiggy it, blah blah." And he was like, "Oh, that's not too bad."
Yeah, it's not like that.
And then he asked like what the name of the band, what the name of this like gang was, and he was like, "Secret Night Gang," and he was like, "Oh, it's not a half bad name that." So then like literally like proposed it to me and Callum, and at first we were like, like it's alright, but then like we didn't actually have any other names at this point because we were like literally coming up with like different names like Unity, Unify, all that kind of business. So then it was like,
oh my god.
So it was like actually that kind of just stuck ever since then.
Yeah.
But then literally started writing music with Stu, and then you started to meet the band members all organically and naturally, and then just literally formed into what it is today, really.
That's crazy, man. It's weird because it's like everything happened for a reason. That little name got dropped, and then so and so. And then you yourself, how did your musical journey kind of start? Like, where did your love of music come from?
So I was always like, I grew up in a musical family because I got like brothers that like play instruments, and my mother like she's also a singer as well.
Oh, amazing!
And obviously my dad claims to be a singer as well.
Oh, you need to get them on a tune.
No, it's a true fact. It's a true fact. But like I actually, to be fair, we did do a little something over. I don't think it was Christmas, but it was like a little bit before my mum's birthday, where I just brought her into the studio. We did like a little reggae tune, and it was nice. Like, really enjoyed it.
Love that. It's amazing.
But yeah, like I was brought up around like music. We listened to music around the house all the time. My brothers one of my brothers had like the piano and the drum kit like in the corner, and he'd often get on the piano. And my mum start singing, and then I'd start getting on the drums like a 4-year-old me with no rhythm, like literally playing like this like reggae beat, and just little times like that were always kind of drilled in me. But I never thought it would have been like an actual like profession of mine. It was just a hobby and a love. And And then I got to high school and I started playing steel pans. Well, I was playing steel pans in primary school as well. Then went on to do it in high school too. And that's where I met Callum. He was also, so we're in the same steel pan group for like a few years. Well, we met him again because then like we literally played football back in the day, but then like we literally lost contact. And anywho, we literally started playing steel pans together, and then actually literally singing tunes like I think it was a Move On Up, or it was either that or it might have even been like a John Legend tune. Funnily enough, Callum must have heard me like sing like 1 and 2 notes. It was like, bro, why are you not singing? Like I was like, I mean,
is that when you discovered like your voice really?
Well, kind of. I was like, I sang in primary school and high school, like literally like every now and again, or like I do like Oh Happy Day, and like in primary school, like be able to hit that like really like top.
Really,
note.
You was that kid from the.
I was that kid, but if you ask me that now, like, is at the time. Like,
okay, yeah, obviously.
So then like it was just a case of like trying to like build up confidence to get back into singing again, and then it took like for one concert for me to then, I think it was a school concert where we did tunes like Move On Up, Easy, Mr. Big Stuff, and Let's Get It On. But then one of the songs I had froze because I forgot the lyrics. It does. It really does. I did Move On Up, and it got to the second verse, and literally like I was like, okay, it's going pretty decent. And then I was like, okay, what's after the first verse? And then like, just froze.
Oh, wow.
And then everyone was spurring me on, but then from that moment on, I was like, actually, I'm going to come back next year. I'm going to do better than what I did, and then continue from there. But then I didn't think that it would have been an actual profession, like I said. So
that's crazy. I didn't even know. It's mad because I never would have thought that was the story. Like, and I did want to ask you actually, because I feel like in your voice alone, but also in the music you make with Secret Night Gang, it's very soulful, and I get a sense of like a. Did you ever go to church growing up? Because it's very.
I did.
Yeah, because I can feel that, and has that been a big impact?
It has been a big impact, but also like, okay, so I would go to church as much as I could, listening to songs about, or like singing songs about like the love of God and like how he resurrected and died and everything like that and stuff. And it was so uplifting to hear that every Sunday, and like there's no other feeling like that because when I hear them kind of tunes, I just get goosebumps.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't say that alone is just like the main influence in my life, like, because then literally like it could be easily like a thing of my dad picking me up after school. I'd be listening to Smooth FM, listening to tunes like Part-Time Lover, Ain't No Stopping Us Now, and then asking my dad, can we pull off at Alvino's and get a saltfish patty and things like that. But then like literally like it was just, there's like many influences, like just other than like just gospel, there's soul, there's R&B. Like I said, I grew up with a lot of reggae in the house as well, so there's just a lot of influences.
Yeah, so, It's crazy. Like it's so unique, and I can't wait for the music that you make to reach more ears, because it really truly deserves it.
Thank you.
I feel like a colours performance as well. That would be insane. You've obviously not released any solo music.
Whew.
I had to ask you because your voice is great, but you released with Secret Night Gang last year. Talk us through making that body of work, and how did it feel to write it, be in the studio, and get it out as well?
So the first and second album, in terms of like how we like the writing process and the recording process, differed to each other. Whereas
really?
like for the first album, we were like more in the studio all together, and we like did like the nips of it. But then for the second one, it was more like home recording, and then we'll send it out to each individual to then like overdub their parts on it. We'll do our demos and then send it out to like each musician. I'd say both experiences were like it's music. It's always going to be like very like, it's stressful, it's exciting, it's nerve-wracking because you don't know how it's going to like turn out. But then it's like a family member, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like you fall out of love with the tune, you fall back in love with the tune, and it's like, I don't know. It was great.
What was your favourite song to make?
Don't do this.
You know?
All right, so I think my favorite tune out of all of them.
It's a hard question.
So hard because like I could
It
literally
can change as well.
So I think
Currently,
because it was like the first like single we officially put out, the song that's always gonna stick with me is "Wanna Be With You," which was on the first album, and it just brings back really. Not that all the memories don't bring back good memories, but that song specifically was like the sort of like platform to like. It was the platform for like other really cool things. So like,
other things,
so that's always gonna stay in my heart. But then also, I can go the other spectrum and be like, oh, another song called "You Are My Love." But I'm not even gonna go to like, which was like that's like a funky disco-y kind of tune. So I could go anywhere with it. But I love all of them for different individual reasons.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you performed so many different places and sang so many different places. Like, when you think back, what has been one of the best experiences performing and one of the most challenging?
The best. Okay, so there's been several though. Not even several. Like not in a bad way, but just like there's been like a lot of special moments on stage with like the guys that I'm playing with. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I can't really
quite hard to
pinpoint like a definitive moment. But if I could pick like my top like, can I pick 3?
Yeah, go. It's great to hear it.
I'd probably say doing Montreux Jazz Festival. That was like that was a big thing for us simply because like that's something that I've always watched on like YouTube, seeing like people like Ella Fitzgerald and all the greats like do their thing there, and that's like one of the biggest jazz festivals in the world. So to have like actually had the pleasure and the honor to do that, honestly,
it's crazy.
Again,
That's
crazy
a big
goosebumps.
thing. You should always. I think that's something that you can tell your future kids, family, all about, like a moment to always look back on.
I mean, I could, but then they'll be like, "What's that?" And then like I'm just gonna feel old, and they're like, "Never mind." It's fine.
What are they?
But I think along with that, doing it's almost 2 years ago now, but I think doing the Karangbin tour dates.
Oh, that's crazy as well.
That was crazy within itself.
That must have been like, was that one of the first like touring?
That was the second one. I think we did our first like UK tour. That was like just all like in promotion for the first album.
Ah, okay, makes sense. Yeah.
And then like around about February, March, we were offered the chance to learn play with Karangbin, and then in April we then went around Europe.
That's crazy.
And then did a bit of the UK too.
That's insane.
And then, the last one would actually be We Out Here.
Oh, okay.
We Out Here like? Main stage a few years back. That was different.
Main stage is like a big.
It was, but then also it's like I say all of this, but then I don't want to ever like disregard like all the smaller like gigs that we did, like the Hoochie Coochie in Newcastle, or like the Sydney Matilda in Sheffield and places like that, because they were all special moments when we were starting out, and of course the Brudenell Club like in Leeds. So those are the three like main highlights that stick out to me. But there's so many like other like things that we did that like I'm just flabbergasted by and like just cherish to this day. So
you're gonna have to add more to that list this year. I'm sure there's gonna be so many more that's gonna come for you.
God willing, yeah.
Yeah, of course. And then has there been like any gigs you've done that have been quite challenging for a reason? Because I feel like with gigging,
in terms of
gigging, things can come, things can be sometimes a bit difficult, or maybe the audience isn't what you expect, So, it's hard to gig sometimes.
So there was one gig in particular where like it wasn't difficult, but it was more of so when we first started out, we did like this like seated jazz cafe gig.
Oh, okay.
And And
seated, wow.
yeah, because like I don't dare I say it, COVID times.
Oh right, yeah.
But like we did the gig, and just before we started, the guy literally, and this is bearing in mind like very nerve-wracking. Don't know really much about London at that time and the scene especially. But then like literally the guy was like, "All right then, show me what you got," and it was like, oh gosh, being judged right now. So then I looked at it from that perspective, but then I was like, all right then, let's do it.
Just took on the challenge,
let's do the do and see what happens. And if you like it, you like it. But like, it wasn't challenging in that way. It was challenging in the way of, okay, you know what? I need to get them on side.
Right,
like,
okay.
Make sure that they're like kind of enjoying it and they're on board with the stuff. But like, apart from that, the way I kind of look at music is a thing of, okay, so that's my outlet to be able to express myself in any form, whether that's like a positive light or not so positive light. And it's like, if I'm feeling not so great, then I'll write about it. If I'm feeling great, then I'll write about it. I'm not just gonna write about good times and like reflect off all the good times that have happened in my life. Basically, sometimes I choose not to speak on stage simply because I let the music do the talking, and hopefully that reflects off the kind of person that I am. So, just one of them, really.
Yeah, I think you said that perfectly. I think most artists are the same as well.
Yeah.
You've done so much, and being an artist from Mani, what advice would you give to people outside of London who think, can I make it like as an artist? How am I going to make it? You have done really well being an artist outside of London. A lot of people think you have to go down to the capital, to the city of London to make it as an artist in this industry.
Effectively, yeah. In some ways you do, but you don't. I think the main thing that I'd say to people is, if you're gonna go down there, make sure you still remain true to who you are and remember where you're from.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. It's quite easy to kind of like fall into that thing of not knowing who you are because then you've gone to a different place. I think obviously you can like inherit like some traits and that, but like always remember like your roots. Remember like where you started, because these are the same places that are still gonna be there for you. You know what I'm saying? What I'd say is also be open-minded, enjoy what you do, and yeah, just let life be life.
Yeah, that's some good advice, man. And the question that I always finish on is, what's one thing that you couldn't live without being on your rider? I think.
Woo!
It has to be on there.
That's a good question. You know what? If people know, then they know. Water.
Okay, yeah.
Simply water. I can't lie. There's something happened in Barcelona about 2 years ago. It was pretty jokes, but then I was like, you know what? From this day forward, there's not gonna be a day that goes forward where I don't have a drink of water. Because if I don't have water, it's sad times. So like, if not water, then I'd say rum.
Rum, okay,
Nice little bit of
a
spice.
little rum just on there to get you going.
Well, I mean, after the show, do you know what I mean? I'll have my water, I'll do my like warm-ups and stuff like that, but then afterwards I might have like a little celebration and then like just have a little rum, and then that's that.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. It's been a nice chat. Make sure you check out Kemani's From the Studio live session.